Hey Mike, Hal Crawford here, Tompkinson BMW. It's Friday evening. I'm going to try and shoot a little video for you to familiarize you a little bit with the iDrive system. It's once you get the hang of the flow of it, it's fairly intuitive. Here's the iDrive button. I think you're a little bit familiar with some of this. So I'm just going to push the iDrive in the direction of where I want to go. So the navigation, as you can see, is up there to the right. So I'm just going to push the iDrive system to the right. That'll light that up. And then I'm going to highlight navigation. It's going to go to new destination. I'll click on that. And then it'll say enter address. And then I'm going to slide this down to get to the city. Now we're in Indiana, so I don't have to change anything there, but I can if I want. And then when I've highlighted, I'm spinning the dial left and right to highlight where I want to go. And then so I'm going to go to state, and I'm going to change that, and I'm going to press down on the iDrive, and now I'm going to spin down, and we're going to go to New Jersey. Getting there. And this iDrive has a little bit of resistance, so you kind of just push it and it'll release. Boy, a lot of M states. Okay. Next one, there it is. So now I'm just going to push down, highlight New Jersey. Sometimes it'll take a little while to take, so there it is. And then I'll highlight the town and the city. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start spelling out the city. So we'll go to M. Again, I'm spinning the dial over and around to M O R R I, and it should. There it is, Morristown. So I'm gonna pull down on it, and there's a couple of Morristowns here. I'm not sure which one it is, but I'll just highlight one. And then that should load. It'll take a second. There you go. I won't put the street or anything. And then I just go down to start guidance, and it'll calculate the fastest route. That'll take a couple seconds. And then there's our map. And then she will start talking to me. Now, that, I don't know how good you can see, but that up at the very top right, this little speaker is muted out. So if I push over there, and now once I start driving, she'll talk to me. There's a little arrow right there.
Your route is in the displayed direction.
There she goes. So now you know why I had her muted out. But you got a view of the map. You can spin the dial, and you can kind of pull it out, or you can pull it in. Just by spinning it, it'll give you different views on the perspective of the map, and you can kind of play with that. But that's the main function of the navigation. And then now I'm pointing down to the nav. So there's a menu button right here. I'm going to hit the menu, and again, I've got back to the menu screen. If I want to go to entertainment, again, I'm just going to slide this down because entertainment is down, and that'll pull up my radio, FM. Again, I'll spin this to AM, weather band. This car does have satellite radio, which you would have to subscribe to. If I'm highlighting satellite radio, and there it is. And if I try and turn one on, I'm guessing it's going to take me. There we go. So it says there's your ESN number. You just call Sirius at that number if you want to subscribe, and then they'll ask for that ESN number. Say, hey, I just got this car, I want to subscribe. They'll ask for your ESN number and then your contact information, and then they'll turn you on. Again, now to get back, I'm pushing up to get back up to the next level, to the back button, and that takes me back to the satellite radio stations. Again, I'm going to slide up again and get back up where the radio station. So there's different levels, as you can kind of see. One there, and then one there. And again, I'm just pulling down or up to get to those levels, and then I'm spinning to get where I want. So now I'll go back to FM. I push down and highlight that, and it'll pull up my FM. And then I'm going to push up again to get to manual, And then once I'm on manual, I can just spin the dial, and as you can see, this until you find the station you want. If you want to store that one, you just go down to store, and then you can highlight whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or one of 12 stations, whichever one you want to store it on. I'm going to store it on number 3. Press down. Now station number 3 is 90.3. So again, you can kind of play through that, but that's kind of the procedure. You can actually do an auto store as well. Highlight the auto store and it'll automatically lock in on all the strongest stations in the area. It takes a little while, but those 89.3 are defaults, and they'll start changing as it starts pulling in the stations. Again, I hit the menu button, and then you can go into climate control, and you can have vent settings. Again, I'll pull down, and you can adjust the high vent for defrost. Pull down again, the vent for at your face level, and then down at your feet level. And again, I'm just spinning the dial. So that's kind of the routine for the iDrive system. Again, like I said, it's fairly intuitive. Just remember to bump up when you're trying to get to different levels, and when you get to the level you want, you spin until you highlight what you want. Now there's the I right in the middle there. You would press down, straight down, to get to the informations. And there's quite a few other features and functions on here. You can actually go in, you can program steering wheel buttons, which I'll show you in a second. You could program like that star. Hopefully you can see that where my finger is. You could program that maybe to navigation voice instructions. I'll highlight that. And then the star now will be set. If you hit that little star button on the steering wheel, it'll repeat the last voice instructions. Or you maybe want to mute the radio. I'll highlight that. Now if I press the star button, it'll turn that off and on. Again, I'll go back to the menu. Let's see. You said you're familiar with the power buttons. You got one on the steering wheel. You've got one down here on the console. Got your dynamic traction control. The EDC is electronic dampening control, so you can adjust your suspension. This little dial right here, plus or minus, will sensitize the shifting. So pushing it up will make the shifts quicker. Pushing it down will make the shifts a little bit slower. And I think you're familiar with the sequential manual gearbox. So you would just bump it forward for downshift, bump back to upshift. Just push it to the left, we're in neutral. Now if you push it to the right and then push it to the right again, it'll take you into drive mode, in which case you don't have to bump it and make the shifts yourself. You can just drive it and it'll shift automatically, but keep in mind that that's a little bit of rough shifting. You're really better off shifting this car yourself for the best performance. I believe your car, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm in an M6 right now that's outside. Your car's on the showroom floor, has been on the showroom, and I didn't want to start that up obviously in there, and I don't want to move it outside until Herman, my driver, is going to pick it up. I will fill your gas tank for you tomorrow and take it for a little spin, charge the battery. It's been on the showroom floor for a while. It has been driven, I think, last week actually once. They recertified it. This little button down here, and I'm 99.9% sure you've got the head-up display. So when I activate that button, I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but the head-up display will be out over the hood of your car, and you can see the shifts. You can see what gear you're in, and if you have the navigation set and running, there'll be a little arrow to tell you which direction, when you're going to turn, whether you're going to make a right or a left, so forth. Maybe you can see that. I don't know. Hopefully you can, but you'll certainly see it. I'm going to leave it on when you get the car. I really like that feature. It's pretty cool. The same functions that I showed you on the console shifter you have on the steering wheel, which hopefully you're familiar with. So the plus button, you just pull back on it to upshift, minus button to downshift. I think everything else is pretty basic. This is the lock and unlock your doors, emergency flashers. This particular car, this M6, does not have a moonroof. I think that M5 does have a moonroof. There's just a little button up here. Single disc CD, that's your navigation disc, goes in here. To start the car, I think that one had comfort. I think these cars are identically equipped, so I'm pretty sure you've got the comfort access, so I don't have the key in if you just have it in your pocket. You do have to have your foot on the brake, and then this, I'm going to turn it off, and I just hit that start stop button to take my foot off the brake, and I hit the start stop button one more time, and that shuts everything down, your electronics down. You want to be sure to hit it twice when you get out of the car, or lock it when you get out of the car, so that that'll shut that down, and otherwise it'll run for like 30 minutes, and sometimes that can be a drain on the battery. Everything else I think you'll be able to figure out. Your cruise control is down here to the left. It's always on. You just simply soft touch it forward and you're set. If you want to increase speed, you can push it forward, decrease speed, push it backwards. To resume, after you've tapped the brake to kick it off, is a little button on the side. You just press in on that and it'll resume up to speed. If you're going fast and you see a cop shooting radar, if you don't have a radar gun, without hitting the brake, if you passed him, you can pull back and hold on the cruise control and it will actually brake you. If you can pull it back and hold, it'll actually brake and slow you down without hitting the brake lights. I think that's it. I'll show you my ugly mug, Michael, so you can just see what I look like. It's been a rough day. And I'll be obviously in touch with you and call you and see if you have any questions or anything, and follow the process through. I'm actually off on Monday, so I'll follow up with you on Tuesday. Certainly feel free to give me a call if you have any questions at all. We appreciate your business here, Mike, and you're going to love this car. We'll talk to you later. Bye.